Okay, so we might as well just cut the chit chat and get right into it. This video does not have any spoilers in it, but it sorta does deal with a potentially spoilery bit of information. With that in mind, watch at your own risk, but like I said, unless you're absolutely insanely sensitive to any kind of new information for Pokemon Legends Arceus at all, then you'll be okay to watch this, because we're not really gonna be spoiling anything in the true sense of the word. So, a while back, some self-proclaimed Pokemon leakers on Twitter, known as Pokemon Centro Leaks, posted what they claim are going to be new evolutions for the starter Pokemon in Legends Arceus. A lot of people have been suspecting that the starters might get new forms and/or evolutions in these games, and while I personally didn't think it would happen and am still skeptical as to how Game Freak are going to pull it off lore-wise, it does seem like at this point that it is a likely thing. While Centro Leaks have a bit of a spotty reputation when it comes to leaks, it seems that this one is more or less legit, which is why we're going to be exploring it today. In the leak, they claim that the starters are going to be getting new evolutions/forms for their final evolutions, and they provided 3 sets of emojis that apparently describe what these new evolutions are like. With all that in mind, I thought it would be fun to play around with this bit of information, since it does seem to be legitimate, and see if we can't decipher what these emojis could mean for these Pokemon's designs, and try to accurately predict them with some designs of our own. As always with these kinds of videos, Alestiva076 is helping me with the art, so be sure to check him out on Twitter and Instagram or with the link in the description. And the reason I was even able to hire him in the first place to do this kind of video is thanks to the support of people like today's wonderful sponsor, Boxu. So Boxu has been an amazing supporter of the channel for the past little while now, and they want to give back even more by potentially sending one of you to Japan for free. Boxu sends amazing Japanese candy and snacks right to your door every month, and the treats come directly from Japan, so it's as authentic as you can get. I get a box every month myself, and all the stuff is delicious, and each month's box also has a different theme as well, so you'll always be able to try something new. And as for that trip to Japan, you will be automatically entered to win 2 free tickets just by signing up for a subscription. And you can also get 10% off your subscription on top of that by using my link and code in the description. So click that link, use that code, get a subscription of tasty Japanese treats for 10% off, and be automatically entered to win free tickets to Japan all in one glorious transaction. Don't miss out on this unique opportunity either for you or as a gift this holiday season, and a big thank you to Boxu for supporting the channel. Okay, so when it comes to the emojis that Centro Pokemon Leaks claim are depicting the new evolutions of the starters in Legends Arceus, we've got 3 pairs that they've given us as I previously stated. These pairs are as follows: a Muscle Baby, a Kimono Ghost, and a Butterfly Moon. Now, as vague as these obviously are, they could be anything. We don't even know which pair goes with which Pokemon, so that's where my predicting skills are gonna have to come into play. We could just assume that these 3 pairs are written out in the natural starter order of Grass, Fire, and Water, meaning that Rowlet would get the Muscle Baby theme, Cyndaquil would get the Kimono Ghost theme, and Oshawott would get the Butterfly Moon theme for their evolutions. And I actually think this is how it's going to ultimately line up. Not only does it line up with the starter's traditional order, but honestly, I just have a really good gut feeling about Cyndaquil's evolution in particular being represented by the Kimono Ghost emojis, and we pretty much know that at the very least, this one wouldn't be representing Rowlet's evolution most likely, since Decidueye is already Ghost type, meaning that it's gotta be either Cyndaquil or Oshawott anyway, and so overall, yeah, I feel pretty good about Cyndaquil's evolution being the Kimono Ghost. As for the the other two, since we were just talking about Rowlet, I don't think its evolution is going to be represented by the moon butterfly pair either. For one, Rowlet is a bird, which has wings just like a butterfly, and it just doesn't seem like those two would fit, and it doesn't seem like that's what you would use to depict a new Rowlet evolution. It just seems off in my opinion, and the moon theme kinda gives similar vibes to Decidueye's ghost typing anyway, so call it a hunch, but I don't think Rowlet is going to be the butterfly moon either, which means it has to be the muscle baby, and Oshawott is the moon butterfly since that's the only one left. So assuming this leak is all legit, this is my official prediction for how the starters correlate to this. And if there is something more out there leak-wise that provides more info on this, I'm not aware of it since I don't look at leaks most of the time, so if you have seen something more, don't spoil it for other people in the comments, and just enjoy seeing how close I do or don't get with these. And if you're leak-free like I am, then this is going to be totally new and fun for you. With that said though, let's now get into what the designs of these Pokemon could be like. Starting first with Rowlet, as previously mentioned, we've got the muscle baby pairing to work with for him, and honestly, this might be the weirdest one of them all to make work. Cause like, how are baby themes gonna go with a final evolution, and one that evolves from Rowlet no less, and also incorporates some muscle/fighting aspects? Well, you're about to see what Alestiva and I came up with, and that is this design right here. Now, admittedly, there isn't a whole lot of babiness going on here for the aforementioned reasons, but I think it's very fair to assume that the muscle emoji could correlate to a fighting type, which would also be a good change of pace from Decidueye's ghost type. That's why we have this alternate evolution in a fighting stance, looking like he's ready to throw hands, and the feudal Japanese vibe obviously comes from the setting of the game as well. Now, these designs also assume that they will be more so on the regional variant side of things, and thus look somewhat similar to their official counterparts. That may or may not be the case, who knows, but for Rowlet, we are indeed going with a grass fighting type that is something along these lines as our prediction for its potential new final evolution. Next up is the evolution for my boy, Cyndaquil, and as I mentioned earlier, I just have a really good gut feeling about the Kimono Ghost combination for him, which means, if it turns out to be true, that he would most likely end up as a Fire Ghost type, which would just be freaking sick. As for the kimono, given that we're in a historical Japanese setting with this game, it's not hard to imagine what that could be like, as it's probably just a literal kimono of some sort. And with that in mind, this is the design that we have come up with for this potential evolution. Now, as a well-known Cyndaquil fanatic, I think I would enjoy something like this quite a lot if it is indeed any kind of close to this potential new evolution that Cyndaquil could be getting, especially if it is indeed Fire Ghost type, because, I mean, come on, a Fire Ghost type Cyndaquil evolution? Even just the thought of that is mind-meltingly amazing, and I don't think there's any way that that couldn't look incredible. So whether it's like our design or something different, I am all for it either way. And finally, we come to Oshawott's evolution. As a brief refresher, the emoji combination we predicted for this guy was the Butterfly Moon, and just like that Muscle Baby combo we gave to Rowlet earlier, this one is a little head-scratching. Like, how is a butterfly supposed to blend with an otter? Do we have this wrong? Well, while I don't think we necessarily have it wrong, I think it is safe to assume that Oshawott isn't going to become a butterfly or anything, meaning that the butterfly is probably symbolic. With this in mind, the route that Alestiva decided to take with this is, of course, the Japanese one, since this game is very Japanese focused. As a small side note, we also thought that this emoji could maybe be depicting a moth instead, as moths and butterflies are similar, and there isn't really a moth emoji that currently exists. So with all of this in mind, we decided to look at the Japanese words for these insects as sort of a starting point. Butterfly translates to cho, and moth translates to ga. So, that's at least a start, I guess. Meanwhile, we also need to look at the moon inspiration, and if we looked up the Japanese word for butterfly and moth, we might as well do the same for the moon as well. Interestingly, the Japanese word for moonlight is gecko, and this next part came from Alestiva himself, so he might have seen something I didn't, I don't know, but if we put that together with the Japanese word for moth, which is ga, it spells out gecko-ga, which is almost exactly like Greninja's Japanese name, only being spelled very slightly differently. With this in mind, this might be trying to say that Oshawott evolution is either going to be ninja-inspired, or be part dark type, or both, just like Greninja, and that is what ultimately led us to this design. While another water type starter that's a ninja and or part dark type would be really similar to Greninja, it obviously would make sense for Legends Arceus, and putting it in the form of an Oshawott evolution would very clearly turn out amazing and could be insanely cool if it actually happened. And with that, those are my predictions for this potential, looking like it's going to happen, but still unconfirmed, leak. What do you guys think of these designs? Would you want something like this to happen? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're watching this after the fact, let me know if my predictions were close at all, or if I failed miserably. With that said, I'll be back with another video very soon, and until then, as always, thanks so much for watching, I love you all very much, and I will smell you guys later.